I am Minister Omar Atley, your Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labor, and I would like to say I'm extremely elated for the success of this National Job Fair, hosted by the NEST and Division of Labor Affairs. This is one of the biggest job fairs ever held. It's a public-private partnership whereby many companies submitted their vacancies through the Ministry of ASI. We encourage everyone to continue, remain vigilant, remain focused, and looking for any announcements that may come in the future. But for right now, I'm extremely happy with the progress and turnout of this job fair. Thank you.
We were here at the Bel Air doing the National Employment Service Center National Job Fair. Yesterday basically was the entrepreneurship event. Both of these collaborations are with the St. Martin Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Ms. Brandon was present as well yesterday. The turnout on both days is phenomenal. The job fair turnout was phenomenal, beyond expectation. Many persons received jobs on the spot. For persons that were unable to make it to the National Job Fair, we encourage you to visit the National Employment Service Center at the Government Administration Building on the ground floor, the VSA section, Division Labor Affairs and Social Services. We promise and we are committed to continue with this, to offer persons jobs, to make business engagements, and also to equip persons to land that job and keep that job. That's what this is about, and we're very proud of everyone that took part in it, and I would like to thank the businesses as well. Thank you very much.
First of all, a big props to the NEST for organising it the way they have done. We are very impressed with the volume of candidates, the preparation that they have, the way they have organised it. So far, we're halfway today. We already have a good number of candidates that have been selected for second interviews, and so far we also have a good amount of candidates that have already been hired on the spot because either they have the qualifications or the experiences that we're looking for here.
Hi, I'm Deudis. I'm here at the job fair today that's happening, and I must say that this has been an exciting experience for me. I came and I applied to 2 companies, the Hilton, the Port, 3, and also the airport. Great companies to work at. The people are very friendly and they're giving out a lot of opportunities.
In 1956, actually, ADRA was established by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and it underwent a lot of name changes during that period of time. Nevertheless, we are now known as the Adventist Development and Relief Agency since 1984. ADRA is actually part of the United Nations in the essence wherein ADRA was granted a general consultative status by the United Nations. So wherever you go in the world, there are people and they are authorized to work during not only disaster, but also during to relief conditions in.
If you look here, you're going to see a grow bag. Now, ADRA, it's not only development, but also relief, and education. So we teach people how to help themselves. So it's not just about handing you money and then you're going to go to the supermarket and buy the groceries. We concentrate a lot on health, and therefore we teach people how to provide for themselves in a healthy way. One of the principles as Seventh-day Adventists that we focus a lot on health. Hence the reason the Grow Back project came about right after COVID, and we wanted to show. I'm the founder. I don't know if any of you here is part of the Kitchen Garden Club on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. Okay, we have one person here. I'm the founding member. I'm the founder of the Kitchen Garden Club.
In a few months, the department will follow up with you to arrange an appointment to see how far you are coming along with your grow bags. So that's the reason why I kind of smiled when Ms. Barry was explaining about the follow-up, because it was literally in my notes. because we want to ensure that this project is making an impact. All right? It is not just part of our checklist that we mark it off and we walk away. Someone said that the best time to grow was 10 years ago. The second best time to grow is now. All right? So do not underestimate this intervention, because chances are, well, not chances are, because we want to be very intentional. We want that by the next World Food Day, 16th of October, 2024, that we can come by your garden, right, and get your testimonies, take pictures, and showcase it to the world to let them know, right, food security starts with me, all right? You have to be able to inspire those around you, right? And you have to help them recognize the urgency of playing their role to combat hunger, poverty, and starvation on this island.
You know, what we all call Postulation Day, I guess on the street here a little bit. So, you know, we're scheduled for the 22nd of November, you know, on the 8th of November, or today actually, I mean this evening, we're holding or by the time the viewers have seen this, it'll be a little bit later. But, you know, that's kind of how we interact with the parties. We, as a voting bureau and the civil registry, you know, we've planned an information session with all the party representatives and the candidates if they would like to come. And then, of course, on November 22nd, that's when everybody has to submit their list. And the way it works is, you know, it's determined in the law that they have that they're able to submit their list between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. And of course, this is only valid for parties that have registered themselves with the Electoral Council prior to, I believe the deadline was October 11th, off the top of my head. So, and from there, you know, we have a checklist, and I don't know if you want me to mention the things that they need to submit on that day. Or if, yeah, sure, I can do that.
Absolutely.
So, you know, for example, there's something called the Model 2 form. It's the one that, you know, it's accompanied to the kiesbesluit, and essentially that one is the candidate list, and that list has to be submitted, you know, by the official registered representative of the party or their deputy. And then, you know, with that, they bring proof of registration of the political party and their designation at the Electoral Council. Along with that, they also have to submit a consent from each of the candidates. So each candidate on the list must provide a signed declaration of consent to their nomination. And there's a model form for that as well. However, if a candidate is not currently in St. Martin, then it's form free, meaning that, you know, they're free to, you know, send an email or anything like that. So that's the second one. Besides that, they have to get something, you know, in Dutch it's called the kiesgerechtigde verklaring, but it's basically an eligibility confirmation. So it's a statement from actually signed by myself, which they can also acquire through the census office. And that confirms that that candidate is eligible to vote according to a certain article of the electoral ordinance. And then, of course, every list has to be accompanied by a black and white photo of 4 by 6 centimeters of the number one candidate on the list. So not all the candidates, just the person that's highest ranked. And then, of course, every party also has to pay the 2,000 guilder deposit, which they pay at the receivers, and they add the receipt to that. So I think it's those, you know, 5 different things that they have to kind of check off on postulation day, and that's what they hand in. And from there, you know, the process doesn't stop there. Of course, if a party did not win a seat in the previous election, then we move on to what they call, you know, the endorsements. So that's the day after postulation day, that they have to, you know, go and acquire a certain amount of signatures, which is 1% of the validly cast votes in the previous election. So for this year, that number is 134. And of course, you know, we verify the submissions after postulation day. And if there are any deficiencies, we write the parties and we let them know. what these deficiencies are, and they're given 3 days to cure those deficiencies. And then, of course, there's a public hearing in which we, validate all the lists.
Ms. Tackling, we left off talking about the necessary steps that the Central Voting Bureau takes in order to prepare the country. And we're going to continue along the lines of security. Looking at that subject that you brought up earlier, how does the Central Voting Bureau address issues related to electoral fraud or irregularities?
I think that's a pretty broad question. I think anything that happens, of course, during the election process, we look at on a case-by-case basis, and we assess it accordingly. If we notice any, or if there, any, let me say, for some reason I have a Dutch word in my head, but if we have anybody kind of ringing any alarm bells at polling stations, telling us that they see strange things, of course, those types of stories circulate, on election day, and we ensure that there's a safe environment, at the polling station with police involvement. And of course, there's police stationed at all the polling stations. And we'll address those issues as they come up. And of course, if we do have any, idea of irregularities or things like that, we could take such steps as recounting certain polling stations, to really go through the count again. It really very much would depend on the type of irregularity that we noticed. And of course, we try to ensure that everything within the polling station happens in accordance with the law.
At RBC, we know the roles you have to play can change quickly. Whether it's a homeowner, a new parent, today's head chef, or the family chauffeur. Whatever life asks you to be. RBC is a bank for all of you. Win Christmas cash with a no-fee loan from RBC.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social and health insurances.
When we have undocumented people living in Samaritan, very often, they live in extremely bad conditions. It's what we call imported poverty. We allow this to happen. We had it on Pawn Island, costed us $14 million through the trust fund to tell the people we're going to buy up your land, we're going to pay out for your house, we're going to pay out for your business, etc., etc. $14 million it costed us. If we have to go across the island, we're going to need much more money. But the problem is this. Why are we not tackling the problem? We have border control. We have an agreement with the Dutch to help us protect our borders. But if they're inside, who does the job then? Is that immigration? Is that police? Who's going to do it? And I'm not calling now to go stop every bus on the road, pull out everybody, check the papers like how they used to do in the past. But we must find a humane way to deal with this matter because it affects our economy if we like it or not. You must understand that the amount of money that leaves this country every week, go down by Western Union and those places and look at the lines, that money isn't coming back. That money is going to another country to take care of people in that country. They're not sending away our guilders, they're sending away US dollars. So we have a serious flight of currency that we need for our own import. These are the type of things that we need to understand and look at in one holistic view and say, okay, how do we really eradicate poverty in Samantha? This is food for thought. I need you to think about it. Write about it later on the podcast and give your opinions. All opinions are welcome. Everybody has a right to an opinion. Doesn't mean to say I'm going to share it, but I will respect your opinion. So what we got sharing this week here with the political nonsense again, because it has now taken a turn for the worst. Many politicians are right now shopping around for a new home yet. There are politicians on different parties are not sure if they're going to be postulated by that party come November 22nd. So they're nervous, they're asking other places, you have a home for me, can I join you? Some parties are saying, absolutely not, we don't want nothing to do with you all. You all stay where you be. Nobody want Malayerba Bad Bush in their party. Because if you, at this point in time, 9 days, I said it good? Yes, sir. 9 days before postulation, ain't sure if you have a home, then you shouldn't run. Police are totally fed up right now with the Justice Minister and her decision makings. And while, don't misunderstand what I'm going to say now. There's a function book. The minister says in that function book, the first one had a mistake, but the new one that she made, the police got to guard the cells. Well, if that's the job, because it used to be so in the past, police used to always guard the jail. Back in the 70s and 80s, the jail was right beside the police station. The police used to guard the jail. That's how it was. After that, we decided to build a jail, and we created a prison system where we had guards that worked for the prison management, etc., etc. About 30 years ago, when they went up in Point Blanche. Nothing wrong with that. Then, well, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when Minister of Justice Roland Duncan said, listen, we were having a very acute problem with space, and so they created cells at the Phillipsburg police station, and that was going to be of temporary nature. Oh, that was 11 years ago, and the prison guards were there. I think they have 2-3 prison guards that work there per shift, so it means 2 less or 3 less at Point Blanche. That's what it means. That's all it means, in my humble opinion. You have a flight of police officers that have left the police force. You have not replaced them. You have, when you look at your roster, 250 police officers working. How much at home? How much is spending? Because I know you got a lot of those too. You got a lot of police officers on the list that don't work for whatever reason. You see, Minister, and this is when things get ticklish. I am not going to tell you the numbers that work at night. You should go and find out. You should go and find out. Because if they have to go upstairs and watch the prisoners now, then there will be no patrols on the street at night. Yes, Minister, you're hearing me good. You're hearing me real good now. Because you are endangering the public of Samantha with your stupid decisions. Because that decision is a stupid decision. The timing is totally off. You don't have people to work right now. You don't have. And you're going to do this? Jesus, man. Come on, Minister, man. That the unions fight for their members, I agree. That's what the union does. But unions always have to have each other's back. Because if you don't, today for you, tomorrow for me. And when you're looking for the support from your fellow unions, you will most probably not get it. I'm not going to get in between the unions. That's for them to do. I think they're big boys and girls. But I think that we got to be careful. Police officers are leaving this country for better pay, better pensions, better work books and conditions. They're gone. Most of them going Bonaire because they're making good money there.
My team looks and feels good.
Good.
Feels good
That's important.
about the election, about their participation, about being part of the DP. And so, and they together, we create the excitement, you
Right.
know. And of course, there are times when we gotta kind of maybe rush to make something happen, you know. So then you get that little.
That's
that
part of
little-
it.
Like,
Yes,
that's
sir.
part of it. That's part of it. But other than that, really, you know, the support. And if one was like, oh, what, you know, look what happened yesterday or something, and we're like, okay, no, and one counting down the days, you know.
Yes.
So that is no. It really keeps the momentum, and it keeps us all going and understanding what we're up against, one, and what needs to change. That for us is the focus. What we have seen in the past 4 years, and then to be bragging that it was maintained for 4 years, I think I would not say that. I would not say, okay, you know, we
Right.
were there, because what has happened, and this is our tagline as well, at what cost?
At what cost?
At what cost are we
Yeah.
where we are today with the current government and the current coalition?
Right.
But again, we have been focusing on fine DP. We realize you got a big issue with what has been happening and that kind of thing. What are you doing? What is the team doing? And then MP, you got it on.
The whole, so this coming Sunday, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
My turn?
I know you have a calendar
First
in
and
your head.
foremost, this Saturday is our final
Social?
meeting, our final social. So this Saturday we have every candidate is going to be bringing in, we're doing a potluck and a candidates meeting. So it's kind of work and fun.
Okay.
Work first.
And the candidates
fun
got
later.
+1?
Everybody bringing a dish.
Oh, that's a dish.
And they
already.
have they are allowed a +1.
Addition one.
Yeah, addition one.
It's the red party.
So we have a breakdown to let the candidates know in details what's going to happen, what the strategy is. Then on Sunday by the John Lamany Center, what time? 7?
No, we're
4.
actually starting
4 p.m.
4 p.m.
This coming Sunday, 4 p.m., we're going to be informing the public, our supporters. We're going to be introducing our candidates. We're going to be introducing the manifesto,
Yes.
and providing everyone with a pertinent information on how to follow us or what we're going to be doing in the coming 6 weeks after postulation day. So Saturday, our candidates will have our get-together, our final Saturday get-together, because on the next Saturday is going to be completely different. So postulation day is on Wednesday, the 22nd. We have not been assigned a time as yet, but we will be informing everyone.
SZV, your social and health insurance is SZV, your social and health insurance is.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to szv.sx and sign up now.
SZV, yeah, your social and health insurance is.
At RBC, we know the roles you have to play can change quickly. Whether it's a homeowner, a new parent, today's head chef, or the family chauffeur. Whatever life asks you to be. RBC is a bank for all of you. Win Christmas cash with a no-fee loan from RBC.
Just last week, the government announced a state of emergency for the parish of St. James. It came on the heels of a triple murder which involved the death of 2 young children. But the measure, which is expected to come to an end next week, continues to receive criticism over its effectiveness in curtailing the country's crime wave. One of the country's watchdog organizations, Jamaicans for Justice, JFJ, has taken it further. It believes the security measure is now being used politically. Michael Jackson is the executive director of Jamaicans for Justice.
I think sometimes for political expediency, the governments put forward things like state of public emergency because unfortunately you won't see the results of their efforts within that 5-year period. So it's not to say that things are not being done already. The challenge that we're having is that the results will go across administrations. It is going to take years for us to feel them, and therefore the government is saying, let's put in place the state of public emergency. Let's pass these draconian laws so the public feel as if we're doing something.
The JFJ executive is adamant that the measure is not helping.
We're seeing the murder rate trending down, but there are other variables at play. And 2023 is the only year that we've had less state of public emergency. So again, we may say SOE says lies, but the evidence isn't there to support it.
Okay.
Now you ask the question about people giving up their rights. I say, whose rights are you giving up? The reality is, Neville, you have the benefit of a popular face. If the police were to pull you over, the likelihood of you being detained for over 400 days, like some of the clients that JFJ has had, it wouldn't happen.
Ms. Jackson says the measure only provides members of the security forces with extraordinary powers, which sometimes are abused. In the meantime, she's calling for a strengthening of the country's witness protection program.
If people speak up that there is sufficient resources to protect them, to possibly relocate them. So those are some of the immediate things that come to mind. Because if you speak up, if it is that you speak out against somebody, you want to be assured that there will be no reprisal against you. So those 2 immediate solutions come to mind to the government of Jamaica.
Herman Green, TVJ News.